Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, because I've got multiple requests for this one, I'm gonna break down the Touch the Sky remix. I just froze down a bunch of these tracks because this is kind of a heavy project because most of the synths are still S synths, and I haven't really bounced all that many things unless where I needed to like do these manual fades and stuff like that. But I'm gonna unfreeze them and show the actual like processings and plugins. I've made this project I think like 2 years ago at this point, so I don't quite remember everything that's in here. Yeah, let's just get started. I guess with the drop, maybe let's do it here where all the instruments are playing, and let's just I mean the kick I don't think I can talk about a lot. I just have a couple of these vengeance kicks. This is how I used to do it back then. I don't really do this anymore. I'm just using a simple audio channel. Back then I used to like load everything into this sampler and then like choose the best fitting kick drum. And here that's what I did. And the chain on it is like some weird EQ. It's just to make sure that it's mono. I talked about this in previous videos that this is like whenever I'm using this on this built-in limiter, I'm mostly using it because this has this, so I can overdo the low end without much drawbacks. Of course, this is like kind of getting back of the transient of the kick, but it's not really a huge problem because I'm sidechaining anyway. So yeah, this is what I used to do. So if I drive into this limiter, the kick, which is not even happening right now, so this plugin I could just disable and would be the exact same. But like the benefit why I used to do this is that if I drive it like this, I'm basically just getting more of the low end instead of like any sort of distortion. Whereas with other limiters, I would get a much more distorted result. It would keep the transients, but it would be distorted. This is why it is why it should be here. But otherwise, it's just not doing anything. So I could disable it, right? I don't remember why I had it there. A little bit of compression. Actually, it's not that little bit. It's like 3 dB or something, right? Yeah, 2. It's not that little, but it's also not that much. And a little bit of transient shaping. I used to use this transient shaper before I got the U80 one. But the sustain had no problems at all, just as with any other like native transient shaping plugin. The sustains are generally good, but the attack time is where you can't really do as good as like the U80 one. But yeah, this is like here I'm just lower the sustain a little bit so that it's just not as long. The kick drum is not as long. That's it. So this is the kick, and let's move on to the various basses because it consists of multiple layers. Now, of course, I have this sub bass. This is what I would say is the main layer. It's from Massive. It's a DX bass preset, probably with some EQing, and of course heavy sidechain. Now a layer on top of it is coming from battery, to my surprise. Probably this is a Vengeance sample. Sounds like this without any processing. Could have made it from synths, but like I mean, it's still true to this day that I'm not really all that great of a sound designer. I just prefer to like have everything like or like most things that I can either use it from synths as from presets, or like find samples that are basically sounding good right away. Again, this is something I don't really do anymore, but I used to like experiment with these space designers to like create a little bit of like these weird spaces. Yeah, this Pro R is here for the same reason, basically. Just to like put it in this short reverb, like it's kind of like it gets into like this boxy feel, I would say, but in context this is like actually in most cases it's going to sound good. So that's why I used to do it. I don't really do this anymore because it's like it's just not clean, to be honest. And I lately I've been like I prefer much more cleaner results rather than more interesting results. So it's always a trade-off between these two, because like the more interesting you go, chances are the less clean it's gonna be. So it's like it's kind of a trade-off, and you kind of have to find the balance in most cases. And yeah, another massive bass. This is like a Fatty Leg Ran preset from like a random sample pack. I don't remember. Not the greatest of all time, but it's okay, I guess. It's not even audible, so it's not that big of a problem. So this is basically the kick and the bass so far, and I think I think this is it. So on their own, it's sounding, well, not so good, but then when the layers come in, it should sound good. So this is from our Christmas 2015. I think it's from here. Tropical Love. With this third layer disabled. There's again just some EQing. I just took out the bass, some compression on it as well. Replica, again, this is something I used to do for like a little bit of this boxy effect so that it's just in a space. Just another space designer for probably for the same reason. I was like stacking these plugins for basically no reason, but you know, it ended up sounding okay. So again, some additional EQing. I took out something from here. I believe it was so it had this like something when you beat crush an effect, it had that frequency, and I just wanted to get rid of that. So that's why that cut is there. Okay, and then I have another Nexus here. Probably this is the most like audible sound of all. Let me just play all these in all these together. This is the same thing, just playing the same melody as this one. It's just to strengthen it a little bit, because this one has a little bit more body. And with the same rhythm, I just have this like weird synth. It's from Form, to my surprise. Again, something I don't really use anymore because it's just so heavy on the CPU. I remember when I got this synth, I loved it, but over time it was just so hard to manage because it's using like an insane amount of CPU. So it just kind of like fell out of my go-to plugins. But it's a cool synth, and you can modulate a bunch of things here, which is of course very good as well. Here I didn't really use it for that reason. It was just that I just needed a layer, and I just played around with this one and found this, which was sounding good in context. Again, alone, all these sounds are sounding a little bit weird in my opinion, at least listening back to what I used to produce 2 years ago. But in context, it's actually kind of okay. And then now the vocals. So let's just start from here. I remember when I made this track, I wasn't all that happy with the original vocal recording. I don't remember why was that, or like what I was thinking. But the thing is that I remember that I just played around with some formant shifting, and I didn't have neutron back then, which is what nectar back then, which is what I would use today for formant shifting. But I started playing around with like Little Alter Boy, which is nowadays I don't really use this plugin as much because it's just creating so many phasing problems and artifacts that I don't really like it, to be honest, because again, it's just not clean. It's a cool sound designing effect, but it's not as clean as I would like. So yeah, this is basically it why I'm not really using this one anymore, unless I'm on purpose going for something weird, or like when I'm on purpose I want to mess up the phase, or like something like this. But here this was the only good formant shifting plugin I had when I produced this song back then, so this is what I used, obviously. Sorry, this is not even the right channel. This is it. But the point is the same. Oh, okay, so it's not that ridiculously low formatted. But let me just show the vocals without any processing first.
Never seen the lights shine brighter than the shining for us here tonight. There's something in the air I can feel.
I still think that this is sounding much better than how the original was sounding.
I've never
Some minor EQing.
seen the lights shine brighter than the.
Some stereo delay. This is what I always use in every other video as well. Serum effects that didn't change with time.
In the shining forest here tonight, there's something in the air.
Kind of again a weird space to put a vocal in, but this is what contextually was working for me, and yeah.
I can feel it. It's the feeling everything's alright.
Some multi-band compression again, just so that it smoothens out the vocal a little bit better, rather than what I would be able to do with EQs or like manual rides or whatever. And it has a little bit of sidechain. Or maybe this was disabled. I didn't even pay much attention to this, but it probably was active. So just so that there's a little bit of pumping going on right away, even without a quick kick drum.
I've never seen the lights shine brighter in the shining forest here tonight. There's something in the air. I can.
And yeah, I have this separate channel just for the vocal echoes to like well, for that reason, like there's no other reason than to have an echo than to have an echo, right? So
Never seen the lights shine brighter in the shining forest here tonight. There's some.
it's basically just filling out those empty spaces so that I don't have to put like anything else here. So why I started to explain the vocals is because this is how I ended up with this vocal chop in the drop. That this is the exact same processing, but or like very similar to that with the Foreman shifting. And of course, I think there's much more sidechain going on here. But with this is basically the same thing. So that's the whole point. And I just chopped up this sample. This is I remember that I wasn't all that happy with how this one sounded, like this ton 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 ton. But I just wasn't really able to find a better chop pattern, so yeah, I went with this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure what else could I explain about this one, because again, this is the same delay, probably the exact same reverb with this weird curves. Yeah, not much else in here. And then later on, it comes back again. I used Little Otherboy for this same effect, but I just put it to robot, and I played the fifth with the chops. It just fills up those spectrum ranges, and again, just so that the second half of the drop is a little bit different than the first one. Here it starts in the second drop right away, from what I can see. So yeah, let's just move on to the drums, or like maybe I'm gonna show it in context, because like this is just a loop, hi-hat and clap. It's like nothing extra to show there. So I'm just gonna mute the other stuff instead of like soloing these. And then for the rest, I have this melody in the breakdowns. Not very creative, but it works. So.
Lights shine brighter in the shining forest here tonight. There's something in the air.
Basically, the drop was like what I showed. It's like not much I could explain here. And this release bass is, again, this is a preset I've showed a million times. I'm always basically using this same one if I'm using this wider type of freeze. This is just an audio sample from somewhere. I don't remember where it's from, but I just automated it so that the cutoff goes up. It's basically just a pad that plays the same note throughout. What do I have in here as well? It's just white noise effects. Maybe this snare.
The balls are talking. We're gonna touch the sky.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of automation, I would assume. Yeah, it's just again this snare roll with it's set to like this 32 like stuff. I don't know how to say this in English.
We coming in louder. The balls are talking. We're gonna touch the sky.
I've heard some effects here. This is again something I still do this every now and then. but not as much as I used to do, like these little white noise like effects that start the drop. If I can show it. Okay, let me just freeze everything back real quick. Alright, so should be good now. I was here, so what I just wanted to say about this one is that I still do this from time to time, although again this is something that's a little bit more rare than how many times I used to do it back then. It's like this white noise effect, with just, you know, like these rhythm patterns to end them. It's something kind of cool. It's just kind of a minor detail, but it always works. This is again like this is still something I do this day, is whenever the clap starts. If I do the first section without a clap of the drop and then the clap comes in, then I will introduce the white noise when the clap comes in, so that the high frequencies are consistently hitting at the same time. It's again, I just think it's a cool effect. Yeah, some other white noises, these are not super interesting. Yeah, but like basically this is it. Like the main part is like this. Yeah, I think this is basically all I could say about this project. So yeah, thanks for watching and hope you have a great day.